This week's feature presentation is Triangle of Sadness. A little bit out of our wheelhouse, but the Oscars are coming up this weekend. This is one of the nominees for Best Picture, and we thought it would be a good one to cover. This is an Eat the Rich type of movie. It's about a group of like the uber rich passengers on a luxury liner, and basically literal shit goes down. It kind of almost a slice of life type of movie. So Triangle of Sadness. This movie to me actually is a lot like the Banshees of Inisherin. Not in the setting or anything like that, but in its pacing. I thought it's super patient and super methodical. Definitely not for everybody.
No, no. Yeah, this this movie is really simple. Like it. And I think that's probably why it's getting the attention that it's getting. It's like really easy to follow, and like the themes here are right in your face, and you don't have to think too hard about any of it. And but it's definitely not for everybody. It's got the tone of it is so strange, and I don't know if it ever kind of locks in on it on what that tone is.
It is like so from the opening moments, like you know it's gonna be absurd. Like there's
Right.
a really great scene. And it's in the trailer. It's a really great scene about the faces people make when they're posing for different brands.
Yeah.
Super funny. Like I thought it was really,
Yeah.
really funny. And it never gets away from that humor. However, it's not like this comedy where the jokes, it's not a throw everything against the wall and see what sticks type of thing. Like the jokes
No.
are spaced out and they take their time with it. And in between that, there's discussions of there's a little bit of class in it. There's talks of socialism and communism and capitalism and love and things of that relationships. And so you're right. It never locks down a tone, but it's hard to ever. It's like it's never serious, but it is.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
it's dealing with serious themes. But
Right.
you're kind of always waiting for the next joke. But it's never it's a weird movie because like the jokes
It's a
don't come
weird
as
movie.
you. It's very almost like it's very free flowing, like well, like a stream of conscious. I almost.
Yeah, yeah, there was like literally a point in the movie. I was probably like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes in. But I was like, what the fuck am I watching? I was like, what is this? Because like, so one of the reasons I felt like the themes were, or man, just the tone was kind of not the themes, but the tone. It shifts your focus, and but it does it pretty in a pretty clever way. It shifts your focus into like who you're paying attention to. You're kind of getting the backstories of kind of everybody that you need to, and their relationship dynamics aboard this ship, and that's where the absurdity of it all is. It's like there's not one thing that's happening on that ship that is not completely preposterous. Really,
Right, it's ridiculous.
totally ridiculous. And it's a strange movie because it's all these jokes are being made, but like with a straight face. And it's I think that's what makes it. I think that's why it's not going to win an Oscar. No, I don't think so. Do you think it has a chance?
I think that this movie was kind of the we nominate 10 movies every year
Yeah,
and we need a
we
10th
need a
movie,
10th.
and this is the
Okay.
one. See, I actually in my opinion, I would have gone with and I'm a big Park Chan-wook fan, but I would have gone
Yeah.
with Decision to Leave over this.
Okay. Yeah.
That being said, like we'll get into whether you liked it or not. The and you're right, like it is ridiculous, but it's also a ridiculous setting. Like the
Yeah.
yacht is just like it's nuts. It's crazy. Like the people on there, you can't say no to them no matter what. Like they make it clear you can't say no to what they're, and they don't ask for anything that's problematic, but they
No.
do ask for some silly things.
Yeah.
um, the Woody Harrelson as the captain is just it's a spoof of like it made me think of like the Exxon Valdez,
Yeah.
drunk captain
Totally.
and stuff. He's
Totally.
like a Simpsons joke almost. But then during that, there's talking, well, he's also an American communist who's debating with this Russian capitalist. So
Yeah.
it's this really weird thing. Like, and you're right, it is very simple. Like the first part,
Yeah.
it's straight, it's about money.
Yeah,
straight up, it's about money,
and role reversal. I mean,
role
that's
reversal, and the importance of money. I think like the third or fourth word in part two is money. Like,
yeah.
you know, that money is going to be a very important part of this movie. And it never, it's kind of weird. Like, it focuses more on class than
Mm-hmm.
actual money, 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 money,
Mm-hmm.
money, money.
Mm-hmm.
But it, I don't know. Like, it always was like, not that it was unpredictable, but it never went in directions that I thought it was going to go.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's weird. I don't know how to describe it.
yeah, yeah. It's like that fucking, like the schizophrenic guy, like talking to the gutter, storm gutter. Like, you have no idea what he's gonna say. And let's I had no idea. I had no idea what was gonna happen in this movie, from one scene to the next. And it it did you think it dragged, like, about like the halfway point? Like, it really kind of just, I don't know, like it kind of like lost its steam. Not that it doesn't kind of pick itself back up again, but I felt like halfway through we were kind of just, until like really there's shit everywhere. Like, we were kind of just like floating. Like, it was like this aimless kind of movie, you
You
know?
know, I thought it was overly complicated at times.
Yeah,
Like like scenes went on a little longer than they needed
right.
to go on. Um, Even when, people start, throwing up and things like that.
Mhm.
Even that, those scenes where there's a lot of them, and it
Mhm.
is funny, and it goes on for a long time. It's a really weird movie to like to pin, because and that's really weird humor in and of itself, because that's just like low hanging fruit. That's like
It's
toilet
Monty
paper.
Python, Mr. Creosote.
It is. It's just straight up someone's throwing up, someone's covered in shit. Like,
Yeah.
uh, and
It
this
was a
is
jackass movie at that point.
really, it is, and this is before we get into a debate on someone accidentally flips on, or maybe they did it on purpose. They turn on the ship's PA and they're talking, they're talking about the ships going down and stuff like that, and then there's a long scene on communism and capitalism. Like, it's yeah, this will be a hard movie for a lot of people to watch, but the performances are really good. And I
Yeah.
guess we should mention that I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Yaya, Charlie Breen Dean,
Oh yeah.
the day before this was released internationally, she died suddenly.
She was
And
she was good.
really good performance, and people were saying that this was like a breakout performance for her. And she's really good in this. All the performances in this, with the exception of Woody Harrelson, who did do good, but it's kind of an over the top character, and possibly the Russian too. But everyone was like kind of very natural. I thought it was
Yeah.
very, and this goes back to the free flowing nature of the movie. Like, I thought the performances were like excellent.
Yeah. No, the absolutely, the particular the housekeeper, she
Yeah.
really kind of steals the show at the end there. And um I here's what I'll say about Woody Harrelson's performance. I feel like they called Woody Harrelson and like sent him a script, and he was like, "Yeah, this sounds weird and cool. You got 3 days. I'll be there for 3 days."
I think you're close. I don't think they sent him a script. I think it's the reverse of that. I think
Okay,
they told him, you have 3 days, this many minutes,
you
speak
can
into
do
this
it.
microphone. And that's how
Say whatever you want.
he was just talking. Yeah, that was a speech he gives to his grandkids.
Exactly. Exactly. I enjoyed his character.
Oh, I loved him. Thought he was
I
funny.
really enjoyed Woody Harrelson's character.
He was a hilarious. I like little thing like there. That's the captain's dinner, and everyone's getting fine dining, something out of the menu. He gets a burger and fries. Like,
he he goes, "I'm not a fan of fine dining."
really, and also it's a good. I'm assuming that the seasickness was kind of due to what they were eating.
Yeah.
So it kind of explains why it didn't affect him also. So
Yeah, exactly.
really, really well done. The third act, it almost becomes a different movie at this point. They're
Yeah.
stranded on an island, and they kind of get away from, very, very, very briefly, they get into the whole class thing, like, you work for me and this is how it
Hmm.
goes. And but then they get away from it very, very quickly. It's more of a like, okay, we're on this island and we're going to make things work, and hey, I'm doing a lot more work than you, so this is why I get to sleep here. And then there's kind of a love triangle in it, but
Hmm.
totally gets away from the class thing. I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, that yeah. I found the end is just really, really kind of disjointed. It I think it tried to play basically on that very first scene we get with Yaya and what's his name,
Carl.
Carl, and I think it's kind of just all playing on that, but it does it. I mean, it's trying to do it very cleverly. But it's like, yeah, I think you're a little too smart for your own good here. Like it kind of just, it kind of, it lost its direction, I think, a little bit, and I, it lost, it kind of lost its humor again. You know, like all the absurdity and humor that we had kind of like, you're kind of just going like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Because I am. Like
Right.
that kind of goes away too, and I, when the movie ended, I kind of just, I kind of just got up, turned off the TV, and just went about the rest of my day. I did not linger on a thought about how this movie ended.
You know what, the ending, so the ending, and spoiler, we'll talk about, we've talked about some plot points, but we won't ruin anything. The ending is your very standard stranded on an island ending.
Mhm.
It's kind of goes where you think it would go, or where a lot of these movies tend to go. I loved the ending, to be honest. I absolutely loved it. Like, I thought that the third act, and a little bit the rest of the, well, the whole movie, it's a character study of some people more than others, but it's really getting into their characters. And
Mhm.
the actual ending, when they've like found out, okay, this is what's going on here, and now we can move on with our lives. You really see, in one character in particular, you see how much they've kind of accepted the life that they've made for themselves. And for whatever reason, like, and you're right, the third act, it kind of feels like it did lose its way a lot, and it doesn't have the same sting as the rest of the movie. But that moment, like, everything came together for me.
Okay.
And then the actual final scene, like, I love the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is
Soundtrack's
great.
good. Yeah.
The final scene with what's going on and the music playing, I thought was like perfect. And it complete, I already enjoying the movie, like it completely made the movie for me.
Gotcha. Wow. So yeah, I did not have that reaction. But I can totally, I can see why. It was probably, some of the more artful direction in the entire movie. That's for sure.
Right.
With the music, and like you said, the what is happening in those final moments is pretty harrowing, and it adds stakes to the movie that it like almost never had, which I guess kind of threw me off. But
Yeah, and maybe because I could relate to the person too.
yeah,
I don't know. So, Triangle of Sadness not
yeah.
only is it nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, actually on Hulu right now. So, Triangle of Sadness, see or no see?
See or no see. Yeah, yeah, you should see it. I am not as passionate as my friend here, but I think it's a weird movie, and it is definitely not for everybody. I definitely found enjoyment in it though, and I was highly entertained in numerous parts. Even if I thought the ending was a little strange.
I definitely think you should check out this movie, but there's some caveats there. This isn't like a laugh a minute. There's not a whole lot of action going on. It gets really strange and really slow at times. But
Mhm.
I think by the time it's all over, it's like well worth your time. And just to see what all the hubbub, why the hell was this nominated for Best Picture? Check it out.